Hi there, folks. Simmon here with yet another Intermediate Invitational semifinals game. This time, the tiebreaker game between ManaT and gowellja. This is their fifth game, and this one is for all the marbles. This decides who goes on into the finals against Pluto the Brave. Much like the tiebreaker game between Asterisk and Pluto the Brave in their semifinals match, this one will be with 3 Comey to Black. That means 3 points added to Black's flat score artificially should the game go to flats instead of a road win, and a 10-minute plus 5-second increment for each player. This is much different than the 15-minute and 10-second increment that they get in the normal game. So this tiebreaker is much shorter in terms of time. And that may play a role here in this final game of this semifinals series. So let's jump right in to this Game 5 final game between ManaT and gowellja. And here we are with ManaT versus gowellja, Game 5. ManaT in white, gowellja in black. I believe they did agree to those colors, but I could be mistaken here. It may have been a coin flip if they did not agree. Looks like they're playing for that center control right away. Very different from that mirrored opening we often see, and that I talked about in the openings video of TAC University. This time, ManaT dropping a capstone on that second move there, or rather, move 3. This is pretty huge because it's definitely giving gowellja some pause here, trying to decide how to respond to this different opening. I feel like this capstone right here on move 3 is pretty strong, especially with lower time controls. Number 1, it is different than we're used to seeing. Number 2, it's still a pretty strong position. I like c4 here for white instead of the d2 because going north, I mean, that makes some sense, but I feel like since black had already sort of decided to go north, just cut it off, go horizontal there. And so it looks like white is changing directions here, going for that horizontal threat, and black's wall is really cutting things off. So it looks like we're seeing this play from white going for this vertical threat, and then black immediately wanting to cut this off with this wall here. But I imagine white is going to start playing quite heavily with flats because he does have a 3 Comey disadvantage to black. Black dropping the capstone here, ready to cut this threat off and start going for their own horizontal threat potentially. That capstone is a strong piece there, so I imagine maybe a b5. Does look like white's going for b5 here. ManaT trying to go for that horizontal threat now that this capstone is in the way. Black, I mean, an a5 placement seems pretty okay here, as it would cut that off and start going for his own vertical here. And we may see white play up at b6. Now this is a tack threat. Black comes over with the capstone. Now we're probably going to see an a6 here to make that anchor point off to the left. No, he is going off to the right first. Interesting. I'm not quite sure why he's playing on that side over an... I feel like a6 might have been the better play there. But we shall see. Playing over here, black may come over with b4 to the left onto a4 here. Rabbit Boy in the chat saying that it looks like a hard cap would be really strong for white if white moves d4 over to c4. And yeah, I can see how that would be pretty strong there for white. However, that would be giving up a little bit for the flat count, at least in the moment. And now it seems like that may be the move to make here. After that black placement at a3, gowellja, I believe he wanted black, ManaT wanted white. I believe gowellja wants to play for flats this whole game. And so he's probably going to be pretty liberal with walls when stacks come up. But we do see flat count right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for white, or 8 for white, sorry. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then plus 3 Comey, 8, 9, 10 for black. So we do see a attack threat here for white. Does push the threat, just like Rabbit Boy was saying. Coming up from A4 would be the road, or coming down from B5 would also be the road. This is where I think we're likely to see maybe a B6 left. No, we're seeing a wall drop here, ready to capture that stack and liberate that captive. An A5 right makes a little bit of sense in this position. And I can see how that move may be upcoming. Potentially even moving this capstone over onto C3 would also make quite a bit of sense. But that wall is in a strong position. I am surprised B4 didn't go left there, because that would have been a tag threat moving left. But instead didn't do that, went for the A3 plus. Just like they're saying in the chat, they thought that would be happening. But the wall is really nice position there for white. Black is taking his time thinking about this. Again, this is a shorter time control than we're used to in this tournament. This is 10 minutes with 5-second increment. Does move that capstone over to the left, like I was saying, and that is going to be a strong position there for black, because black is able to make that positive +2 flat count differential move, cutting off a lot of white's power. Even if white comes up with that wall, it is not going to do much. And then black can also, if white doesn't move that wall, place down here A2 to make that smash tag threat. Or place here at C1 to make that capture or placement tag threat in these two spots. So black's in a pretty solid position here. The capstone moving was a really good response. White immediately responds by renewing this tag threat down here by placing it D1 would be a road. So black comes up with that capstone, does not make the +2 move as I expected he would, instead makes the capture onto this spot. White could renew that threat by placing again at D5. Not sure if he will, though. And in the chat, they're saying it's another one where they thought black would have made the threat by leaving behind a black flat here to capture upwards to continue that threat, but he's not doing that. Again, gowellja did say, okay, so white playing down here at D1 is the tag threat going in the vertical direction. Black comes over with that wall to immediately cut that off. We may see some play here like F2 or F3 to go in that vertical direction again off to this side. Tough to say. Tough to say. White does move that wall up. Interesting. Yeah, black is able to smash that wall without giving a road to white, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is. He can smash. But will he take that chance? That's the question, because he is seemingly playing for a flat win here already from the very beginning, and that is what he said in the Discord before this game began. And smashing that wall might work out for him in terms of flats. It definitely would stop that +3 flat move here. Okay, and he does go for that. does make the smash. Now will white drop a wall here at a3? Will white move this stack, maybe spread it out? Let's see here. What will white's response be to that smash? He knows that if he does drop a wall here at a3, black is likely going to recapture this stack. But if he moves this stack, black may be spreading out down below, placing down here for potential capture. White does drop the wall here. And just as I thought, black comes over with that capstone to recapture that stack. He's able to use that stack to make a lot of positive flat count differential moves and go for some road threats at the same time. And as Flew the Brave is saying, although gowellja is playing for a flat win here, he is going to have to make a lot of road threats to force white's hand in terms of how black plays. Because, if that made any sense at all, I'm not sure if my sentence made sense, he has to make road threats to force white to play certain moves that give him more flat count advantage. So it looks like white dropping another wall here, trying to hem in this capstone stack of black. And what that would do is it would limit the potential that this capstone stack has to wreak havoc on white's lines and also to be offensive. And these two walls are in a pretty solid position now because even if black makes, for example, positive flat count differential moves up here in the northern direction, this wall can come up and capture what's left behind because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this stack. So if he wants to leave black in control of this, he's going to have to leave behind black, white, black here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So no matter what, white would be able to liberate a captive there. Now, black building down below here, interestingly, maybe trying to make a connection up in this direction, maybe trying to place here and then come over with the capstone stack for a hard cap. Not sure. Does drop the flat here. So white looks like they're going for potentially, okay, so now they're going for this vertical threat. Now white has a tack threat here by placing an F2 that would be a connection all the way up to B6. So that would be a tack threat. We may see a wall or a flat here from black to cut that off. But I do believe black is trying to drop his capstone maybe on this piece to do a hard capstone and then capture down onto this wall, which is reminiscent of a game he had recently against Tiltakbot, and that did work out for him. So I think now that we've seen a flat drop here, we'll likely see a flat here that renews that tack threat, and black can't throw this wall over to the side, can't capture onto this with this wall. This wall is stuck here because white would just be able to fill in for a road. Now, black's probably going to have to do a capture up here in B5, B6 area in order to stop this threat. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not seeing a good option here for black besides capturing up in this area. Black does make that move, captures up, leaves behind a white flat here in control. Now, this is interesting. Does leave behind the white flat. And he probably wants to make this move here to make the positive flat count differential. White can capture over here and then relinquish and then recapture with the wall if necessary. If he does capture over and then places up at c6, that can be a dual threat in the vertical and horizontal directions by capturing up. White instead placing up here to renew that vertical threat. Black's going to be basically forced to move this stack along and spread across this threat of white. Now will white play here at c4? I'm not quite sure why white wanted black to make that move. I guess to capture this stack. Okay, it does force the spread, and then... Ooh. Black can come over, I guess, with the full stack to keep the wall from capturing. No, instead he moves that over, away from this wall. White doesn't want to use d6 to capture left. He might want to use b6 to capture right. Does use d6 surprisingly. I didn't think you want to do that because that sort of leaves this, gives this capstone a little bit more room to move around because it was sort of like half pinned in that location. Now I guess we're going to see this stack spread out to the left. Does spread out to the left. And now will he capture over? Does capture over. Will there be a wall here from black? Makes a lot of sense if there is. Does drop a wall there. White could decide to just start playing up here at f5 and f6 and go for that vertical tag threat yet again. Yeah, I'd say if I were white, I'd be playing up here at f5 and f6 and just go for this vertical threat in that direction. Bring these flats down. Black is able to capture eventually onto this spot, but smashing your own wall here is also an option, but it does leave this spot open for this capstone to come down or a wall to drop, and that would really interrupt all of white's options in that area. Does go for the place pawn on f5. I like that. Drops a wall on f6. Will white play up here at e6 or maybe at e5? No, instead plays down at e1, interestingly enough. White may be playing for flats at this point now. Let's take a look at the flat count as it stands. Okay, e5 placed here from white. Black does make that capture, wants to make that positive flat count differential move. That would be a +3 move, if I'm not mistaken. No, 1, 2, yeah, that would be a +3 move. Oh, white captures down instead to take away that +3 move. They're definitely both playing for flats at this point. Let's take a look at the flat count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for black. Now 7, 8 for black. And then 8 plus 3, 9, 10, 11, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for white. So white is up on flat count. White continuing to play, playing down here at B2. White wants to run out of these reserves quickly. Black can't make any tack threats at this point. Can't make any positive flat count differential moves right now. He's going to set up for one, though, trying to capture onto this stack and then be able to move down, I guess, onto B4. But then that wall, those walls are there to cut that off too, so I'm not quite sure if this is... Yeah, it looks pretty firmly in white's grasp right now. Though we look at the time, 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes. ManaT was in the lead for a while in terms of time, but now it is closing down, and ManaT is running on lower time. C1 placement for white, going for that horizontal direction. They're both playing for flats at this point. That capture does occur. I think white's just going to let it happen, because if this +2 flat count move happens, this wall comes over and then is able to make more up from there. And there's no road threat going on, so I think white is safe to just keep playing flats at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for black. So even if he makes this +2 move, that'd be 14, and then this wall comes over, captures back over, and yeah, it's looking like it's white's game here. He can flat out, and as soon as this capture occurs, then the wall can come up and make up that difference. And I think white would still be in the lead here even. So white can flat out from here. Black is going to have to keep playing flats and go for something tricky maybe with his capstone. Try to set up some sort of tinue, because white playing here at C3 now. White just trying to play a lot. Okay, so we do see attack threat here from black now. This capstone came over and is ready to... Oh, it's not attack threat, sorry. But it's ready to come over and do some work in terms of flat count. Let's see. 3 reserves left for white. Black can make up some ground here by moving this across, dropping a black here, and the capstone here. That would be a +1, 2, 4 move. That would be a +4 move, which would be pretty huge for black at this point in the game. But he would give up an area for this white capstone to move upwards, maybe free some things up. Yeah, so I still say this is pretty good for white. It'll be very difficult to stop at this point. Yeah, and if he does play at E3, that's a threat of a board fill. And so there would be only one place left for black to play, and he would move that across. Let's see what the flat count would be after that move. 1, 2, 3, 4. We moves the capstone up. That's surprising. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10, 11, 12. And then... Hang on here. C2 left. So black captured over, making the attack threat. So black's making attack threat now. I think that E3 a little bit ago would have been better, but now ManaT's down 15 seconds. That is an issue, it seems like. Okay. Huh. Very quick play from Black. Black is trying to force the time on ManaT, not giving him much time to think. That's a road. He got trapped by time. Time killed ManaT there. gowellja wins the tiebreaker game against ManaT in this semifinals match. The time was just too much for ManaT right at the end there, and he is not pleased about it. I can tell you that much right now. But gowellja wins. Congratulations to gowellja. You now move on to play Pluto the Brave against, Pluto the Brave in the finals match of this Intermediate Invitational Tournament. Well played to both players. Congratulations to gowellja. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to check out the next game, which will be the first couple games, I guess, of the 4-game finals match of gowellja versus Pluto the Brave. So, thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description at the bottom of this video to see all the TAC resources that we have available to us, including the playtac.com website where you can play folks online. Also, the rules for the game so you can learn it. Check out the videos on my channel for how to play TAC. Check out the subreddit. Especially check out the TAC Discord server, which is the community hub. It's where everybody goes to talk about TAC, find players to play with, where we organize all these tournaments and everything. It's all on that TAC Discord. That is the place to be. If you're unfamiliar with Discord, Discord is a audio and text chatting web application and mobile application, and it's super easy to use, doesn't cost a thing, and you don't even have to download anything if you don't want to. Thanks for checking it out, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.